Hey, scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch, Creative Memories Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. And I have a video today that I want to share with you using one of my most favorite Creative Memories tools, and that is the Border Maker system. You see, I love them so much. We have the original Border Maker system, which comes with this picket fence. And then we also have the special edition that they created for Creative Memories' birthday. I think it was back in the fall, and it comes with a wonderful little cupcake border cartridge. So I would like to share some ways of using these cartridges just as they are. They're beautiful, wonderful, and fun, but also thinking out of the box just a little bit and looking at mixing and combining them. So let's get ready, and I will love to share this with you. So the tools that we need today to do this would be the Border Maker system, whether you have the original one or the special edition one. Also, you need some designer paper. You can use lightweight cardstock, but I don't recommend using the heavier cardstock because it'll kill the punch after a while because you have to use an awful lot of force. So I try to stick with designer paper or the shimmer, the nicer lightweight shimmer cardstock, or just the lighter weight cardstock. And you will need your 12-inch trimmer for either for the base that you're going to put these on, or possibly even when you make a border that sticks to the edge of the paper. It's not a chain, it sticks to the edge of the paper, which I'll show you in just a second. So for National Scrapbook Day 2023, Creative Memories came up with this beautiful little citrus slice, which makes a very nice border. I did use it with my National Scrapbook Day papers. This was a page with a base page and two folded edges on a separate sheet of paper, but you can see what a nice idea that is. It just adds a little bit of a touch, not a lot of work, beautiful little touch on your page. You can also just use it as a single border, and if I didn't have the words there, you see that you could use this border either at the top, either side, or at the base of your page. But that's just using it as it was intended with a citrus slice. But take a look at this. I am crazy for watermelon. I think two of the best things about summer, no, three, the corn, watermelon, and cherries. They're my favorite things about summer. The heat, not so much. But I got to looking at this and I was thinking, what about a watermelon punch? What if I used it to make a watermelon punch? Now, I do have to tell you that Noreen Smith, who is our product development creative manager, she has been using those words, what if? So I'm following her lead. What if I tried to make that look like watermelon? So that's what I did, and I simply punched the three different colors that I wanted to use. That's for the skin, this is for the rind, and then this is for the actual watermelon itself. And in order to fill this in and have it look like seeds, I put repositionable tape here, and I punch these little octagons. This is from it's an older CM punch, but any punch that you have that would have, it could be a circle that would cover this space, that's what you could use. And I just put those on there, trimmed off any excess, stacked them up, and I got my watermelon. So this might be something you'd like to do for the summer. Now, besides using these Border Maker cartridges just as borders, I mean, you can see so many beautiful different designs, and they are lovely just the way they are. You can make them double. You can have your paper thinner in between and have them a little more face to face. But you see they make lovely designs just as they are that can be used to add a border, a simple embellishment to your page so you can focus on your pictures and your journaling and your photos in your journaling. So this is one way I want you to think about using it, but I also want you to think about using it to frame your pages. So I just cut down this inner piece that I wanted to be 8 by 8. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's like 11. And then I punched and left a space because for the most part, these punches is 2 inches. So that you can kind of calculate. So because I made this a little bit smaller, I didn't punch it all the way. The other thing too, like especially with the chevron, you can use that confetti that comes out of it. I added that to the design. And then this could be a title page. You could have a special photo you wanted in here so that it really highlights it and adds a really nice design, but without a lot of work on your part, just a little planning. Here's another way to use it in a whole page. And again, I took the confetti out and I added it in here to this paper on the corner, just on each corner. So you can put it whichever way you'd like, but it just adds a really nice design and still leaves you lots of room for photos and for your journaling. So besides thinking of using it just as borders or as frames, I had got the idea from Beckie Belote, who's a Creative Memories advisor in Newport News, Virginia. She said that you can mix and match, and I'm sure other advisors have said it, but Beckie was the first one I heard say it. You can mix and match the cartridges. So that's what I want to share with you next. So before I go forward with mixing and matching, in case you've not seen our border maker system in operation, I want to show you that. Now, whoever invented this, honestly, they were genius, because it really is designed so well that you can have all these beautiful designs and not have to think too hard. You just have to follow and feel what's happening. So there's this little tray under here that you open up, and that's to get your paper, to place your paper on the edge. You can see there's a magnet here and another one here. So you place your paper up against the edge, pop the magnet down, and that'll hold it in place. Before you punch, you get rid of that, and you see these, you can see these little grooves in here. Those are going to match up with the knobs that are on your border maker cartridge. So the way you do this housing, you always put the Creative Memories logo inside. You hear it snap in. When you want to remove it, you push on that button and out it comes. All right, so we have our cartridge loaded, we have our paper loaded, and now I'm just have a nice flat surface, and you can start at the top or the bottom. I always start at the top for some reason. You punch down, you can feel it hook in. Move it to the next one. Do move out and go back in. Don't slide it. Sometimes it can get hung up. Go to the third one. You'll end up doing 6 punches. And the final one. Now this is one of those cartridges that holds on to the edge of the paper. That's when you would need your 12-inch trimmer to bring that in. Bring in your trimmer, and then you can decide how narrow or how wide you want your border to be. I'm going to cut this at, let's say, 1.5 inches. Line that up on your trimmer. If you don't have one of these trimmers, I don't know what you're waiting for. They are fabulous. All right, so there's my border. I can add more to it. I can put this, layer it and put things behind it. But it's very simple, beautifully cut. And then you do have this confetti. Some of the confetti I do keep. I try to not lose control, but some of it, like these, are nice little rectangles you could use. But that's certainly not anything you have to do. So you get this out, get all this cleared away. And now I want to show you how you could easily mix and match. Now, I just kept these in here. Let's see, we have the pick fence and the cupcake. We'll leave these. Oh, the other thing before I mix and match. One of the things you need to think about, because some of these are chain and some of these are edges. Like the one we just did, this is an edge punch. So are these two. Okay, this is the diamond zigzag and the pyramid keyhole. They're both edging of the paper. And what I did in order to decide which ones I could mix and match, I looked and saw, okay, so if I punch these together, they punch out the paper in about the same space, so they should be able to be alternated. Let's check it out, okay? All right, so that's they're both edging, and you see that when you look at those cartridges, they're similar. Before I punch those, let's look at this. These are chain. This is wispy chain and ribbon wave. So you turn them over, make sure that the knobs are going the same direction. And you can see that these actually also punch at about the same area. So let's do both so that you can see both. And then I'll show you the other ones I came up with. Doesn't matter which one of these you use, but the beauty of having two, I definitely recommend you get at least one border maker system, but I'm in a 35-50 and you get one cartridge. So let's use the blue one this time. I open up my tray. I'll just use that same totally tonal paper I had out. Line up the paper, attach the magnets to each other, fold this back, and now, because I have two cartridge holders, I can alternate like this, but let me just show you. If I only had the one cartridge holder, I'd punch one, skip one, punch the next one, punch the next one, and you see there are little knobs. these little knobs here coincide with this little bump that's here. There's the third one. Then I would change this out and put my other cartridge, but it's already in here, so let's just go with that. Punch here, here. Get out. Oh yeah, get out that little excess stuff. And here. So now I've alternated the pattern. If you have any little hangers on, just pop them off. Okay, so then you can see, you can't really see that well. Let me pull this out for you. I should have had some white cardstock out. Here we go. So here's some white cardstock. The other side, you know, this is when you have your paper packs, this paper that's on here is photo safe, so you can also use it for mounting things and for borders. See how pretty that is with it alternated? But you see it's also, they have both edge cartridges, so that way they work pretty well together. So let me show you what I mean, because now we'll look at the chain. Okay, so now we're going to switch out to these that are chain, meaning that they drop off from the paper. And you can tell that because when you look at it, it doesn't have the design up against the edge of the cartridge. So you know that that's going to just go down the middle. So let's show you again how to switch them out. Push that button, pop it out. Pop that out. And let's put our wispy chain in here. And this is our ribbon wave chain. And let's get these into the paper holder. Remember, pop open that tray, put your paper in, magnets attach and hold it together, fold this back out of the way, and then let's punch. Something very satisfying about punching. And you make beautiful embellishments without a lot of effort. So one, I'm going to skip. And skip one more time. And let's bring in the other one. I just think this is so much fun because you start with a basic design, but you end up with a beautiful new design. Oops. Here we go. Beautiful new design. Mamma mia. Okay, there we go. My lamp is a little bit in the way there. When I'm filming, I have to position it a little bit differently. It's usually not that difficult, but that's because I'm filming. You know how that goes. All right, so there we go. So instead of having the one design, now you've mixed, and it's just such a graceful design, but that was able to work because they were both chains that drop off the paper. I did try a couple that were like our new ones for the Enchanted, and one was this beaded chain, which it came apart, so I cut it apart. So now I will use these as embellishments because this was a base one, and I don't know, they just didn't hit at the right spot. But rule of thumb is, if you look at them, if you look at the designs underneath, look at them, remember the knobs going the same direction, and see if they hit at about the same space, then there's a pretty good chance that they will hang on to each other. Sometimes you get a little funky spots, but I'll show you that in some of the samples that I made. So you can use an entire sheet of 12 by 12 and get a lot of borders out of it. So what happens when you get down to a little narrow piece like this? You have to have enough paper for your magnets to hold on to. So if you take your little piece of paper that you have left, and then you take a couple of sticky notes, put them on your that little sheet of paper that you have, then that gives your magnet something to hold on to. You may have seen this before. It really works. I use it all the time. So then when you want to go in here, then it's a white picket fence. You can go back and it holds on to it. And these these sticky notes that you see here, I have used multiple times because I did a lot of punching yesterday. So you can use and reuse as long as you possibly can. But then that holds on to that little piece of paper so that you don't have to waste those little pieces of paper, or you can use them for your punches, especially when you have like one sheet of designer paper and you want to just use that color. So in my usual fashion, I started playing with these borders and mixing and then matching them, and I got a little bit carried away. But, you know, my family, my friends, my croppers, they'll tell you that's kind of what I do. But I just want to share these with you so that you can see. And I did write the names. You may already have these border makers cartridges. If not, maybe your friend does, maybe your advisor does. This was mixing chevron arrows excuse me, zebra stripes. I truly didn't know that would work, but I like the design. I think it's very pretty. So you can play with that. Now, here's a diamond zigzag. And the diamond zigzag and pyramid keyhole. Let me move this aside. How pretty that is. Okay. And then I did put them on another piece, on another, I put them together, cut one, because these are the ones that hang on to the edge. So I cut one longer than the other so that I could adhere them together. Here is the starry punch and clouds. I thought that was kind of pretty. And I did the, it's a navy blue cardstock. I mounted it on, and then the silver shimmer for the clouds and the stars. And I love banners, so I thought, well, will the stars and the flag work? And they did. Okay, it's a little bit funky there, but I just think it's a cool look. I mean, if it's not for you, don't do it. But I like that look, combining the two. It's pretty fragile when you get to this, so you got to be very careful when you're putting your border together. And that is why I put them on another piece on the shimmer cardstock, because I didn't want it to go crashing away. All right, moving on. This is overkill, I know. Okay, so I thought this would be fun. Something kind of mechanical. I think I was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. Mechanical. I like mechanical things. Barbed wire, and then that rolling sunshine, which kind of looks like gears, but if you know gears don't work like this. The teeth have to intersect. But it has that kind of mechanical look. So I thought that was kind of a cool design. You know, some of these have no theme at all. I just looked at the designs and wanted to make new designs. Okay, here I used the pumpkin chain, the barn and fence, and then this is called garland. Now, then I just used the grass border maker cartridge. And one thing you do have to do is when you're putting this one together, you will need your multi-purpose tool, because I did use repositionable tape, but then you know, if I wanted to, I could lift this a little bit and I could put this underneath. I kind of left it all in front here, but you'll see another one. You can lift it and you can put some of the grass under and some of it on, and leave some on top. Okay, so that's the pumpkin chain. I love this look. Mosaic diamond and timeless tweed. I just think it's so pretty together. It's just a different kind of a design. You know, you add an embellishment like that to your page and then you don't really have to do much else. This was Sunshine Arches and the Scallop Wave. It's a little funky monkey, but I like it. You know, it's got that, you know, over and under kind of a look. It's just for the designs. I just really liked the different designs. Okay, next. I'm telling you, I did a lot. I apologize. You feel free to stop watching whenever your brain's exploding. This I really love. The brocade chain and the wispy chain. Isn't that a beautiful, graceful design? Now this, again, is fragile, and but you can see where the designs kind of met in the same place. You know, I turned those cartridges over and saw that they would meet kind of in the same place. The brocade chain and wispy chain. Here's the cable chain and circle chain. Isn't that cool looking? Just very, again, kind of mechanical looking, very Art Deco. I love that look. Ancient key. This is the ancient key chain and the diamond scroll chain. I like these together too. You know, I just was experimenting, and some worked. Some were like, yeah, that's okay. But some of these, I really love the designs. They add a nice touch. Diamond windows and mirrored triangles. And this one I put on a darker paper, pale blue. That was kind of pretty. Again, very angular, so it depends what kind of a look you're going for. Okay, moving on. This one, okay, so this one took a little bit of fussy cutting because this is the rolling waves and the rolling sails in the middle here. This is a sticker I just added, but I did have to cut. You know, you can use these cartridges in here. You can use them to just, you know, as a punch. You just put your paper in here. This is the sticky notes. Put the paper in here, and you can just use it as a punch, okay? So that's what I did, and then I just cut the sails off of the sailboats and added them so that you could actually see them, and they're wet, so it's a blue boat. Okay, and here I did the same idea, but this one has the sandcastle and that new sea star we got. And then I made the sailboats completely. I just punched the yellow and put them right on top completely. It's a completely different color, so they would show up better on that on the sandcastles and with the sea stars. Here is element I mixed again. I love the sandcastle and the sea star, so I put the waves here, and then I have the sandcastles in the middle and added a little sea star there. So you can kind of get a theme going, or you can just go for the designs like some of those others were. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. This is the ribbon wave here and the kissing fish, and then I use the zebra stripe but cut off the end to make it more like a fringe, because that looked like seagrass to me. So then this is where I had to use my multi-purpose tool, because I wanted to put some over the design and some under. I didn't want to cover the fish's eyes or anything, because they're very subtle on here anyway. But you just use this to move the grass. But I just love the final look of that. I hope you do too. Okay. Now, I do store I love storing my borders that I've made, or even the laser borders that you buy. I love storing them in this. These are the fill-in file sleeves. They're wonderful to protect them, and then you can see what you have easily. Okay, so here I went with a little bit of a theme. I have the hearts and the jammies in the middle, because who doesn't love a little baby in those jammies? Pretty cute. Okay, and because again, see, it's barely hanging on with the thread, but it works. You just have to be gentle. Something I'm not very often, and that's very patient when I'm doing these things. I had to be very patient, but if I can do it, you can do it. This one, again, I had to do a little bit of fussy cutting, but not too much. So here I use the simple leaf chain and the rose chain, but I decided to go ahead and re-punch to make some red roses on here. But that's really a nice design. Gotta have our puppies and people walking together. So here I just simply alternated the puppy prints and the people, puppy and people all the way down, and pretend they're walking in the grass. That's why I put it on green. Okay, the celebrations where you're eating cupcakes and taking photographs. Thought this would be nice, and I used the scallop on the 12-inch trimmer. I used the scallop blade to cut the border edges, and that's for that. Sorry, your headache. So then I had to do a little bit of Christmas. I wanted to try these. So this is the gingerbread and the spiky evergreen, and it had a little bit off here where they went together. So I got little seasonal sightings hearts, embellishments, and put those on there. But I thought that was a very cute look. And these are banners, and again, they're really fragile. You have to be patient and gentle, but you still get that overall design of the stockings and the candy canes together. And again, I mounted them on a contrasting color on the green and used the scallop edge. That way, especially when it's fragile like that, you want to get it mounted on something so that it doesn't get damaged. And one more spiky evergreen in the ornament. That held together much better. As you can see, where they join together, they hang on much better. I thought that was really pretty. And this is with the gold shimmer on top of the red, and then on the white shimmer. Okay, Christmas spirit. Christmas in almost July. It's June. Almost July. Okay. And this one, I was still playing last night before I made this. So this one, I decided this is cable weave and ribbon wave. I just think that's a very cool design. I just love that design. All right. Then, okay, oh yeah, here's some more. So here I use the lamplight and the double fan. Isn't that pretty together? It looks so Art Deco. I just think that's so neat. Like I feel like I need to be going to a Great Gatsby party or something. It would be cool. Okay, here is the ribbon chain and woven scallop. Okay, now that's the finished product. I want to show you when you first punch it. It comes out like this. So all I did was take my precision point scissors and I just snipped this off. Just rounded it. Okay, just round it off, and nobody will ever know that those were sticking up there. I think it's a really pretty design. Yeah. Okay, And this one, a little bit thematic. Okay, this is picket fence. It's like the one that comes with the cartridge maker. Picket fence, and then I put pumpkins in the middle, like pumpkins along there. So I decided I wanted to put grasses. But before I put down the picket fence, I used Beckie Belote's painting method. And that is using the pen to paint these little makeup sponges, and then I just sponged. You can see where I sponged the picket fence just to give it a little bit of color, look a little bit fall, or a little bit more fall than not that bright orange. But then here you have to put. I used my this multi-purpose tool to put some grass on top of the pumpkins. Oh, I did add lines to the pumpkins too. So there's a little bit more work to that, but it makes a really cute design. Okay, and then I decided that I wanted to work with our new punches that came with the enchanted, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll show you. So it's the tiara, and then, so I mixed the tiara and the heart. Thought that would be kind of fun. And then I alternated. Okay, you can see it was tiara, heart, tiara, heart. This one, I did the heart twice on each end, and then 2 tiaras in the middle. So it does change the look. It's subtle. But then this made me think of the Queen of Hearts, you know, Queen of Hearts. And then here, this made me think of the Red Queen, painting the roses red. That. And a variation on that is like this variation here with the roses on the outside and the tiaras in the middle. Okay, now we got to get some more in here. This one, I used the same tiara punch, but I punched it again, like I did with those pumpkins, or like I did with the roses and things. I just punched it again out of the gold shimmer and placed it right on top, just so it would stand out a little bit fine. And then this one I decided from the Wizard collection, I used the mosaic diamond punch and the tiara, 2 of our newest punches. Isn't that beautiful together? That's that brick paper from the Wizard, and I put it on gold shimmer, gold shimmer to match the gold crown. So I did have to repunch, but I just punched another strip and cut them apart. And then one more variation on that. I took some of that beautiful paper, very royal, with the purples, and used the mosaic diamond, and then I added some bling on that. I think that was Spring Garden bling. Who cares? It's bling. We like it. All right, so those are the different borders, but I'm going to just show you one more thing, and I wish I knew the name of the advisor who created this, but this beaded chain border, she cut it apart, made a tree, so you can make a palm tree, and then I got to playing with it, and I used this is not a border maker cartridge. It's our other punches, border punches. It's the Floral Peaks. But then I made a flower. I cut apart that beaded chain and made a flower and added some embellishment in the middle to the dotted banner chain. So I hope that this gives you some ideas. I hope you want to mix and match. Thank you, Beckie Belote, for the original idea. Thank you so much, Noreen Smith, for saying what if, because look what happens when you say what if. So if you do not have an advisor, I would appreciate you contacting me. I'm going to put the links for the border maker cartridges and tools that you would need. Please reach out to me if you would like to shop. You have any questions about shopping? If you would like to subscribe to my channel, that would be lovely. And then if you click that bell, then you'll get another notification for when I post my next video. So in the meantime, think about it. What if? Treat yourself to a border maker cartridge. They are awesome. It'll change your life, literally, because your scrapbooking will just kick it up another notch. I promise. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching. Bye for now.